All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Shakur Stevenson and the Oscar Valdez fight that should be finalized, but talk about what a lot of people are talking about, the big elephant in the room. Will the WBC allow Oscar Valdez to cheat Shakur Stevenson? Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Let's talk about the Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez fight that is supposed to be made. And I'm telling you, I am really happy, and I am really surprised. I did not believe that Bob Arum would set that fight up for Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. But before I get into that and we get into the WBC side of this, let me ask you first, make sure you first of all, thank you for coming to the video. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, thank you you guys so much for all your support on the channel. Hit the like button. If you watch the video all the way to the end, hit that like button at the end. All right, or before you leave. So let's get into this. Shakur Stevenson got what he asked for, and I am really happy for him. Shakur Stevenson was the WBO 130-pound champion who just beat Jamel Herring, was looking to get a fight with Oscar Valdez. Bob Arum originally and Oscar Valdez originally balked at the idea and were talking about Navrati fighting Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson fighting Vasily Lomachenko. Now, if you are not familiar, if you're not a really hardcore boxing fan or know what that means, pretty much it was Shakur Stevenson was going to take the hard route and Oscar Valdez was going to take a much easier route. And I do not think that that is an exaggeration at all. Shakur Stevenson is a much more difficult fight than Navrati, moving up from 126 to 130 for the first time in his career. And Vasily Lomachenko is a more difficult fighter with that style, the experience, and the skill than Oscar Valdez is, who, while being a very good fighter, is not exactly a Rubik's Cube out there in the boxing ring. Now, he can box and he can slug. He can do both, right? But when you look at the boxing skills between Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, this should be a fight that Shakur Stevenson is able to outbox Oscar Valdez if he wants to, and outbox him 12 rounds and get out of there with a decision without any drama unless there's some type of robbery. And also, even more so, I should say, after having watched the fight between Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring, with that, and actually I do believe maybe two fights before that, Shakur Stevenson is also now going into walk you down mode and being able to slip shots, literally walking fighters down, slipping shots, slipping hooks, all that, and countering and taking the lead while walking somebody down and cutting the ring off on them. So you got a guy like Shakur Stevenson who can fight coming forward, fight going backwards, a guy that can stand right there in front of you, make you miss and counter you, take the lead, all kind of stuff, man, that Shakur Stevenson can do. So, you know, congratulations and happy for Shakur Stevenson. However, there is without a doubt a 5 million pound gorilla in the room, and that is Oscar Valdez, and whether or not Oscar Valdez is going to be able to do whatever Oscar Valdez wants to do in the preparation for the fight. And that is obviously because of what happened to him before the last fight with Conceição, where he tested positive for what many people consider to be a performance-enhancing drug before that fight. But what happened? The WBC steps in, and along with the boxing commission in Arizona, I think it's a Native American commission that said, no, we think this is fine because this does not violate WADA's rules, which is the World Anti-Doping Agency. So, and then the WBC said, well, it doesn't violate WADA. It violated VADA, you know, the Voluntary Anti-Doping, association. but you get it, VADA, the WBC clean boxing program, it violated the rules that they use there. But once the sanctioning body for the fight said no, we don't find it being in violation of it because what he's doing is not illegal according to WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, and that's probably VADA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency. Then they didn't have a problem with it, right? So what is to prevent that from happening again? Right now, my understanding is that the fight is going to be in Las Vegas, so you won't have to deal with somebody that is kind of, like pretty much has all of their boxing riding on Oscar Valdez. But you still got to wonder, man. And I don't think that it is unreasonable to wonder and say, look, man, Oscar Valdez ain't stupid. And neither is Eddie Reynoso. And these guys are probably going to try to take every advantage of whatever things they can possibly take advantage of to give Oscar Valdez a chance to win this fight. And I mean to give the man a chance to win this fight. Because I think if everything is fair and good, dude, it ain't going to happen. And this is what I've heard Eddie Reynoso say in the last two fights where I listened to his corner. In the fight with Canelo Alvarez and in the fight, because I didn't listen to the corner for the Frankie Sanchez fight. But he said it with Oscar Valdez and he said it with Canelo. He said, don't worry, they're going to start wearing down. Don't worry, they're going to start wearing down. They're going to start losing. They're going to start slowing down. And that's when you're going to be able to take over. So with Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant, that's what happened. Caleb Plant was fighting early in the fighting well in the beginning rounds, but then eventually he starts getting tired. Canelo Alvarez, because that's what happens when you move up a bunch of weight classes. Your endurance goes up, your punching power and your endurance goes up, right? So that went up. And then you have the same thing happened to Conceição fight, where Conceição was beating Oscar Valdez in the first half of the fight, and then he had to stop throwing punches, but Oscar Valdez, for some reason, totally unconnected, I'm sure, and I'm being hypocritical, or no, excuse me, I'm being sarcastic, not hypocritical, being sarcastic. Other people are being hypocritical. Being sarcastic, that's what happens, when, has nothing to do with the fact that he was allowed to get on that phentermine, because it was allowed out of competition. As if, at least one of the most famous and well-renowned steroid sellers, Victor Conti, said, no, that is a performance-enhancing drug, and it will affect you in competition, whether you do it in competition or out of competition, which is why VADA said, no, you can't do that in or out of competition. So now that they've approved Oscar Valdez for that, right, and went with the WADA rules, will he be using the same thing out of competition or other things which are legal out of competition against Shakur Stevenson, so that he can take that same route to victory of getting beat for the first 5-6 rounds and then just hoping on and knowing that his endurance is not going to drop. And matter of fact, he may be just getting warmed up while Shakur Stevenson slowly loses his energy and burns out, right? That is the big hope, as far as I can see, for Oscar Valdez winning this fight. And seeing as that he is the WBC champion, and the WBC has already shown that it is willing to bend over backwards for anybody coming out of Eddie Reynoso's stable, I don't think it's an unfair consideration. All right, so anyway, that's my take on the matter, but I still got Shakur Stevenson winning this fight. I think he's just much better fighter than him, and Shakur is just going to have to know that, hey, dude, you're going to have to get in super duper shape and make sure that you got 12 rounds that you can fight at a good pace, and know that no matter how many times you hit this dude upside the head, he ain't going to get tired. He's going to keep plowing forward, and prepare for that. But anyway, that's my take on the circumstance. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.